Most people overfixate on the hours they're doing rather than the quality they're doing within those hours. They always talk about their 10 and 12-hour work days rather than talking about the quality of what they were studying, learning, or the job they were doing, and that sort of thing, and the methodologies behind it and their tactics to actually maximize retention, learning, and progress. So I'm going to be going over 5 published studies that have proved some extraordinary things about how your brain tends to learn things and, how you can apply that into your daily life. So the first one is learn it like you're about to teach it. One really interesting thing about this one for me was that I'd already been doing this without realizing it. So the thing I was doing was when I would learn something, whether it was on a neuroscience podcast or a book or, reading a published study or whatever, wherever I was learning it from, I would always rehearse and bring it back to myself and ask, I would surround myself in a room full of people to add pressure to get that norepinephrine and alertness flowing and awareness flowing in the brain. And that's, starting the starting stages of neuroplasticity to maximize my learning in that moment, which I didn't realize I was doing subconsciously. And then I was, acting like some authority figure, like some professional or something was asking me a question about what I just learned. And then I would then rehearse and recite that back to them, either synthesizing on it and kind of critiquing it and editing it a little bit, and kind of giving my take on it to show that I kind of fully understand it. Or I would, a lot of the time I was just, proving that I understand it and giving a really simple, effective explanation that's understandable, maybe, throwing an effective, strong analogy out there or two, and to prove that I've kind of learnt it as if I was getting tested in that moment. And I would do that every single time I learned something, every single time. And that's, a lot of people ask how I'm so retentive with the knowledge that I learn. It's because I do that. It's because I'm constantly testing myself in my head. And I do it, it's kind of for the fun of it. That sounds a bit nerdy, but that's me. So, that's exactly how I was able to kind of become that retentive, if I was to kind of put it into one thing, and a study, backs it up. So that's that. And the second one is fail the test before you study. Most people don't really see the point in, opening a test. Let's say you've started a new subject, or you're going to college or university, and you open the first paper and you're like, oh my days, I have no idea what the answers to these questions are. And you don't think it's worth answering them because you don't know the answer. This has been shown to be more effective than reading the answer when you realize you just don't know it. It's answering and guessing, just guessing what the answer might be, just giving an answer for the sake of giving an answer. So when you start, your whatever subject you're in, or A level or whatever, just get the first paper or whatever, or a new paper that you just have no knowledge in, and just answer it anyway. And this will be more effective in your performance than just reading it and trying to jam that in your head. And it's things like this, kind of taking that hard path with the brain that tends to have the highest return. So kind of really keep that mental philosophy with you, because that kind of shows up in most studies. Relatively speaking, don't take because there's also the hard and smart path, which is what you also should focus on. And kind of understanding and discerning what the hard smart path is the kind of strategy and the tactic you want to start trying to add into your life. 3 is mix your practice and don't block it out. So basically what I mean by this is interleaving is going to be better than, focusing on, one thing over and over and over and over. So doing blocks seems satisfying. For example, for A levels, I was doing, psychology and then philosophy and then business, and I was blocking it, rather than, focusing on just doing just business for a bit. Interleave, mix it up, it also makes it entertaining, kind of almost make it so you don't even know what's going to come next. And the reason why this is so effective is because it doubled their test score. This doubled people's test scores, rather than focusing, on just, what sort of, you blocking it out. You should actually focus on mixing things up and actually making it quite unpredictable and adjusting and adapting to that, because that's exactly how, and if I'm going to add in my 2 cents on that in terms of, I don't know whether this is true, but I'm kind of hypothesizing on this, but, it adds novelty. It makes revision more exciting when you're going to mix up loads of different things and, sort of really swap through all of those things and go and learn this and learn that and kind of do that process over and over. So that's an important part of this. Then, number 4 is say the important parts out loud. So read key lines out loud, say them out loud. This was a 2010 study done where, when you read the bits that you really need to glue into your brain, reading those out loud are going to help you also kind of pick up the rest of the information around it, but mainly focus on the key points, which is going to source the rest of the information. And the contrast is what's going to make them stick. So don't read everything out and think, oh, everything's important. Just read what is important and that you need to know out, and then everything silently. There has to be a contrast with that. And this had been shown to improve memory by around 10 to 20%. So these are the things, like if you added all of these 5 habits in that I'm going to speak about, you're looking at such a high net gain. So this is just 5 things that you need to write down on a piece of pen or paper, and then just go, okay, how am I going to add this into my, revision, studying, degree, job, blah, blah, whatever it is, or, you're just passionate learning about neuroscience like myself, and you just want to really get that information jammed into your brain. It's just understanding, how can I integrate this into what I'm learning, and focusing on it that way. And this is what's going to put you way ahead of other people that you are competing with, because, a lot of people are just trying to jam things in their brain, and they're just sitting there going revision cards over and over and over and over. And they're getting stressed because they're not learning things. And that's why, A levels and degrees are it's actually really mentally pressuring on students, because I think that, I don't think they get enough of a understanding of how they should be revising, what's effective, what methods they should be using enough that are actually, up to date and approved. And because I think also a lot of people just focus on volume, quantity. I did this many revision cards, because I noticed so many people do that. They're like, I revised this many hours, or I did this many revision cards, and blah, blah, blah. They're still going to get decent grades because they're doing the volume, they're doing the hard work. But the thing is that some of them got surpassed by people who weren't doing, half as much. And there's a reason for that. It's because they were doing these things. They were interleaving. They were doing blah, blah, blah. And, doing that, reading those important things out loud is going to help. Another one is, just a bonus one that comes to mind, is study with the scent. So basically you should make a scent in your room, a cologne, a diffuser, an essential oil, and then you should bring that into your exam, because the associations are going to boost your attention a lot because of because of that association there mentioned. And you should probably, in terms of how I would do it, I would do an essential oil for each specific. I maybe wouldn't go as far as doing it for each paper, unless you can do that, for example. But I would definitely do, for example, if you're doing, three different subjects that you're learning, then I would do 3 different essential oils. But if you're doing, a degree, one big one, then I would just break out break down into the main topics, and then have an essential oil for each one. That's what I would sort of recommend. So you know exactly what to focus on when that paper gets handed around to you, or that exam, or that sort of essay that you need to write. That's going to help a lot. And then the 5th one is write your worries down before pressure. So 10 minutes before an exam, or a big moment. This can be outside of exams and anywhere you need to perform. Write out exactly what you're afraid of, and in immense detail. Why? Because specificity also decreases fear, and this is what most people don't realize. It's really hard to say oh, I'm going to start a business because I might fail, and then I'll have to leave my job, and then I might go broke or whatever. What's more specific is that I'll start a business, I'll learn a lot from starting the business, and then I might if it does fail, then I have a cool story to tell, and then I'll probably just go and get another job. And at least I would have learned, from a great experience that most people probably don't get their hands on. And then I'll be able to take that with me into my next endeavors, and I will be, safe, and I will be okay. Just the more specific, the more brutally specific you can be about your fears, the more of the weight it's going to take off. That's the sort of thing I want you to focus on. And, the worry will eat you up if you don't talk about it, if you don't write it out. Writing it pen on paper is going to be more effective because of how it activates and increases the activity in your brain. So that's what you should be focusing on. And if you want to really integrate these sorts of things into your daily life with, accountability, structure, getting given a proper engine behind it, and then being able to take that into action, I do one-to-one coaching. So I focus on things like this, these little tactics, and then also just trying to stabilize and increase the general baseline of your life. I'm not giving you a 10 out of 10 day. I'm making your 5 out of 10 be a new 5 out of 10 where it's above above the baseline you currently have. That's it. So thank you for watching.